You expect a hemorrhoid medicine to relieve pain and itch, but you get an extra therapeutic action with Preparation H.
Before Bryan Cranston was an Oscar-nominated actor for his work in Trumbo, before winning 4 Primetime Emmys, 3 Screen Actor Guild Awards, and 1 Golden Globe for his portrayal of Walter White, before making the world never want to answer their door again.
I am the one who knocks.
Did you have fun there?
Yeah, I'd go and visit your mother once in a while.
Before Bryan Cranston would drop the mic, before raising 4 of the worst kids on television, before Bryan Cranston wowed the world with his impressive moves on roller skates. Bryan Cranston, he himself grew up in a dysfunctional family of performers out in Canoga Park. His father was a struggling actor who walked out on the family when he was only 11 years old. It was then Bryan and his older brother Kyle, well, they had to move in with their grandparents who lived on a poultry farm. Despite getting a degree in police sciences, Cranston began acting after college, starting out in theater and small roles on television. Throughout the 90s, Bryan Cranston was consistently working as a character actor. Typically, he would play like the villain of the week or like the love interest who pops by the apartment, and of course he played Tim Whatley on Seinfeld, who could forget that.
I'm Jewish. You're not a dentist. You have no idea what my people have been through.
Now, it wasn't until the year 2000 that Bryan Cranston would find for himself a full-time placement working on television as the father in Malcolm in the Middle. He had 4 crazy children, also the man was a little pussy whipped. What, he was!
Well, we've made a real breakthrough here.
My name is Michael McCrudden, documenting the life and career of Bryan Cranston prior to fame, prior to Breaking Bad, here for you on Before They're Famous. Now, you guys requested this video, so be sure to let me know in the comments down below who you want to hear about next. Bryan Lee Cranston was born on March 7th, 1956 in Canoga Park, California, just outside of LA. Both of his parents were in the entertainment industry. His mother Audrey was a radio actress and his father Joe was an amateur boxer turned actor. But big breaks, they were hard to come by. His father, discouraged and desperate, he walked out on the family when Bryan was only 11 years old. Shortly after this time, the family home, it went into foreclosure. As for Bryan's dad, well, he had to give up on acting. That wasn't getting him anywhere. He had separated from the wife, and all of a sudden Bryan and Kyle, they had to pack up their bags and move to a poultry farm. Now, Bryan speaks of his formative years, stating that they were pretty normal. There was one time when he was out horseback riding with his cousin when he spotted Charles Manson. Yeah, you heard that correctly. Wave to the neighbors, kids! In school, Bryan was a decent student, but not much of an athlete. At the age of 16, Bryan joined the Los Angeles Police Department's Law Enforcement Explorer program where he rose to the top of the class. Now, after graduating college, Bryan had picked up for himself a police science degree, but he wasn't all that gung-ho about the future career. That's when him and his older brother Kyle, they decided to get some motorcycles and travel across America for 2 years. They would pick up odd jobs just to keep, food in their bellies, and it was while they were on this trip they both decided that they were both going to become actors. That's when the boys reunited with their father when Bryan was 22 years old. Both of their parents had been jaded by the entertainment industry and forbid their boys from pursuing a career as an actor. But both of them, they decided to disregard their parents' wishes. It was Bryan who found more luck. He would pick up jobs in small theater productions, and he also decided that he wouldn't have the same fate as his father. To do so, he would never turn down any job, and he appeared in a whole bunch of weird commercials, including one for hemorrhoid cream, as well as coffee, medication, and soap.
I never thought I'd like it. Of course, Preparation H often relieves pain and itch for hours.
Because I studied all the medical research.
Creamy, rich, the whole bit.
I tried Excedrin. It relieved my headaches better. Why else would anybody take it?
Bryan also picked up a gig in a fictitious marriage counseling program known as Crisis Counsel. On there, he played a bisexual man who was cheating on his pregnant wife.
I have to clarify this, is that it's not something that I sat down and made a decision to do. It's something that I just felt. It's a feeling that I've had for quite some time now.
Bryan married writer Mickey Middleton in 1977, but the two soon divorced in 1982. He would meet the love of his life 4 short years later while filming one of the first big television roles in his career. It was known as Airwolf. Now, Bryan had been cast in the role of Villain of the Week, and in his episode, well, he took his future wife, actress Robin Dearden, he took her prisoner, or he kidnapped her, or whatever.
It's because of you, not me.
Now look, friend, you just take it easy. There's a way.
You take it easy!
Throughout the 80s, Bryan Cranston, he continued to pad his resume, was booking all sorts of gigs. Typically, he would play the role of a doctor.
A piece of metal lodged in his head, and it severed the optic nerves to his right eye.
He caught a break in 1988 when he shot 9 episodes of the sitcom Raising Miranda. But if you couldn't tell from those opening credits, well, that's a show that would go on to get cancelled. It was then for Bryan he went back to guest starring on LA Law, Matlock, as well as Power Rangers. Yeah, no joke. Take a look at him doing the voice acting for Snizzard. Yeah, can't believe that's him.
Leave my friends alone, you snake!
In 1994, Bryan Cranston appeared on Seinfeld, one of the highest rated sitcoms on television. He played Jerry's dentist and questionable acquaintance, Tim Whatley. Bryan was such a hit with cast, crew, and viewers alike, he returned several more times in the role. Around this time, he was also cast as the best friend to Louis Anderson on the sitcom The Louis Show. Movie appearances were soon to follow, with him making an appearance in Spielberg's Saving Private Ryan. He also played Buzz Aldrin in the miniseries From Earth to the Moon. He also picked up for himself a role on The X-Files, where he impressed writer Vince Gilligan. It wouldn't be until the year 2000 that Bryan Cranston would find a permanent place on our television screens in the Fox sitcom Malcolm in the Middle. Now, he would play Hal, the high-strung oddball father, for 6 seasons, and for his work he would pick up 4 Primetime Emmy Award nominations, as well as critical acclaim for his comedic skills. In 2007, AMC, they greenlit a television show by the name of Breaking Bad, but writer Vince Gilligan, he was having a hard time convincing them that the father from Malcolm in the Middle, Bryan Cranston, he was the guy to play the role. Instead, they wanted John Cusack or Matthew Broderick. But both those 2 actors, they would pass on the role, it would go to Bryan Cranston, and it would change his life. And the rest of the story, well, you know the story because this is Before They're Famous. My name is Michael McCrudden, thank you for checking out my personal channel. I do all sorts of celebrity bios on here. Tom Hardy, we've done him just as of recent. Leonardo DiCaprio, I've done Seth Rogen, James Franco, a whole bunch of actors. Shia LaBeouf, I did both Before They're Famous and After They're Famous, because he's a little out there. Anyway guys, let me know who you want to hear about, perhaps Aaron Paul, in the comments down below, and I'll be sure to get it done. Alright guys, see you in another video. Boom! I'm the man who knocks.